Alright, here's what we're working on today. So this is underneath my 1989 Chevy R3500 dually. It is a square body, fuel injected 7.4 liter gasoline. And my left hand side fuel tank does not work. This is equipped with saddle tanks, left and right, and the left one has never worked. Whenever you'd switch over to the left one, it would just die. The sending unit didn't seem to be working right. So what I ended up doing was dropping the the driver's side fuel tank, and what I found was someone had tried to drop it before. They had completely hacked up the wiring. They had like six feet of extra fuel line in there, which was all kinked up, and even if the sending unit was working and the pump was working, there was no way for fuel to get through it. And the reason they did that is because these tanks are incredibly difficult to get in and out. You can't really see it, but there is hard line up here that runs, and it terminates right on top of the frame rail. And you have maybe 6 inches from the end of that hard line to the output on the sending unit. And I think the way that they did this is when they put it together in the factory, the bed wasn't on the truck, so they could easily do it. Problem with this is I have some homemade gooseneck adapter in there that I think is attached to the bed in a couple places, and I have a fifth wheel rail kit that is definitely attached to the bed and the frame in a few places. So taking the bed off or even loose to lift it up to do this is going to be pretty much an impossible task on this truck. What I've done is I've gotten a bunch of fuel line here. It's 3/8, 5/16, and 1/4 inch, I believe. And I have attached it to the sending unit. I raised the tank up, put a few bolts in it, and I have it running over the frame rail here. And I've got a ton of it that's running over to the tank switching valve. I think the tank switching valve may be bad as well, because even with a few gallons of fuel in the tank, brand new sending unit pump combo, it's still not running off of that tank. So I am going to disconnect the fuel line, which is the one closest to the phone there that looks new. That is the send line. The smaller one behind it is the return. The one to the right of it is the send from the passenger side tank. The one behind it is the return for that tank. And the two sides here, the large one is the send to the engine, and the other one is the return. The third line is teed in right here, and I believe that's for the evap canister. There is a shield that sits over this that has 3 bolts. It's sitting over there, but I'm going to take that largest line from the driver's side tank loose and see if I'm spitting fuel out of it. If I am, then I know fuel is getting to this point, and it's probably the tank switching valve that's not doing its job. I suspected that that was bad as well, so I've actually already got a brand new one sitting in the truck right now. So let's see if I'm actually getting fuel that far or not, and if I am, then I'm going to replace the tank switching valve. If I'm not, then crap.